But most people are focused on the money, and it's not about the money. The process of the sales will set you free. Main question: do you have a sales process? You have a marketing, you have an accounting. If you run out of money, you can't pay bills. Do you have a sales process? And most people do not have a sales process.
It's time to reinvent.
Welcome to Reinventing Perspectives. We have been away for a while, but I brought you someone extra special to show that we are absolutely back today. Benjamin Brown, thank you so much for being with us. Benjamin, please tell us, who are you and what are you about?
A simple human being trying to get through life with special gifts that I have to pass on to others and trying to give back to as many people as I possibly can. That's who I am.
Oh, I love that. Well, we're here for it. And our audience is just going to love learning from you, Benjamin. Our entrepreneurs really struggle with sales, especially new
Hmm.
entrepreneurs. You find someone has got a
Hmm.
skill, but
Yeah,
they're not quite sure how to translate the skill to money. So
yeah,
there's this big bridge of you see the money, you know what you need
yeah.
to do to earn the money, but how do you
Right.
get to the money? We'll
Well,
start there.
is that the question? How you get to the money?
How do you get to the money?
You have to change the mindset.
Mm,
How easy is it to be an entrepreneur?
quite easy.
Well, it's easy to get an LLC. How easy is it to build everything and then go get the money?
That's tough. You have to change. You need a new identity.
And that's called the what? Mindset. The problem is that most people, when you're a child, you have children. How many times do they ask you for things?
All the time.
Right. Do you tell them to stop?
Well, I do tell them to stop by, they never do. I can expect they're going to keep asking.
So that's an example, Priscilla, to let you know that we're born to sell. But we stop because education and everything that we learn and should give us the validation to actually warrant what we want, what we need. But we should not ask. If you go to third world country, you're in Australia, you've been to the United States, and you've been to Africa, where people always ask. Third world countries ask, right? Jamaica, ask. They're always asking, right? But if you go to first world countries, you just buy. If you go in the store, you don't ask for a better price. If you can't afford it, don't get it. It's been trained. It's a mindset. In sales, changing the mindset to understand that we always are selling. When you finally become an entrepreneur, you turn that back on from a child to understand that you need to start asking just like you did when you was a child. And if you can actually start to do that, you don't need to market or spend a lot of money, especially if you believe in the product, right? What I teach is you like or love the product. If you don't like it, love it, leave it. If you believe in it and you believe in you're helping people with that, sales become easy. We always talk about the negative connotation with people who sell you, who don't give you any benefit. It's the reason because their mindset for those people, they know how to sell something that's not going to benefit you. And people always talk about those negative people. Oh, they ripped me off. They did this and that. But they knew how to sell. So sales can be used for good or for bad, but most people always use the negative. So if you learn how to sell, it has nothing to do with negative. It has to do with human nature. You've been born to sell. What I do is teach people how to sell again, right? Because sales is simple, but it's not easy. So I have to take people and understand that you've been born to sell, whether you're introverted, extroverted. But if you're a product or service, your job is to get out and help people, as many as you can. And by learning to sell, you can do that. And on the back end, you might get rewards that you might want: more customers, more referrals, and maybe some more money. But the main key is more referrals, because the end of a sale is referrals, not the money. Because if you like and love what you have, I might not be able to help you, Priscilla, but in the end, if I ask you, I'm sorry I couldn't help you, but if you know anybody else I can help, and if you give me them, I can sell them and help them, then I keep moving on. But most people are focused on the money, and it's not about the money. The process of the sales will set you free. The main thing I ask you, and I close with this: do you have a sales process? You have a marketing, you have an accounting. If you run out of money, you can't pay bills. Do you have a sales process? And most people do not have a sales process.
You said so much there, Benjamin. A lot of really valuable things. It's all right because naturally we sell. We read a book And because we love the book, which I think was what you said the key. If you don't love it, don't try and sell it. You love the book, you sell it naturally. You sell it to your coworkers, you sell it to your friends, you sell it to anyone who listens because you love it so much. You want them to get the book as well and enjoy the benefits of the book. With new entrepreneurs, sometimes I think that confidence of how much do you believe in what you're selling or what you're providing, or do
Mhm.
you really love doing that thing? Now, you said that most people don't have a sales process. I was this person, guilty as charged. I
Yeah.
had no idea. I had everything. Okay, I had the social media going, I had the podcast going, and I had zero sales process and zero idea of why I should have a sales process. Why should you have a sales process, and what does that look like?
What is the purpose of a sale?
To keep your business going.
No. What is the purpose of a sale?
Proof that what you're offering someone values it. What is the purpose?
Sales is simple, but it's not easy. Purpose of a sale is to get somebody to move. I want you to click on this. I want you to go to this site. I want you to give me the email here. I want you to call me here. I want you to answer this question. I want you to like me on this. I want you to email me on this. Bunch of tiny steps that you're asking people to move towards figuring out if you can help them, right? It doesn't happen in a snap. It's a process. You know where you're going and you're confident in what you're doing and you're listening to understand if you're helping them along that process. That's it. Sales is a what? What is sales? It's an entrepreneur and then there's sales. Entrepreneur cannot exist without sales. Sales can exist without entrepreneur. Sales is a skill. So if I know how to sell, I can make a living. If I'm an entrepreneur, it doesn't mean I can make a living if I can't sell. It's a skill. Sales is an action item. You have to learn it. You have to practice it. And you have to have a good mentor to teach you how to do it. Once you learn how to do it and understand it, you can sell anything. But most people in entrepreneurship doesn't come from that background. They come from business, marketing, law firms, whatever they come into to get into entrepreneurship. And they understand now I have to sell. You haven't sold since you were a child, right? Because you went to school, you got your master's, you got your bachelor's, you have all of this, you got your money, this and that. You start your own company, and then all of a sudden, now you have to ask. You haven't asked in years. So you don't know how to ask. Sales is about asking. If you don't know how to do that, what do? I have money. I can overcome that with what? Marketing. I want low hanging fruit. Click on this, email campaigns, all these different things that people will do to get low hanging fruit, right? Everybody wants low hanging fruit. Just come in and buy. Can you get on the phone, have a conversation with somebody? Because sales is a language, and the language is sales. And then maybe 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes later, convert to a credit card with your process being doing. And most people can do it.
This is good. We've gotten to the bottom of the problem.
When they come into the realm, they understand, oh my goodness, this is a whole different type of deal. And it's a mindset because it's a lot of rejection, right? It's a lot of stuff that you're not willing to accept. You come from a PhD bachelor's where you haven't dealt with failure on a regular basis, and sales is about failure. And most people don't want to do it, especially for themselves. So they wish that they had another $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to hire a salesperson. And the problem with that, that's why they call me, because they don't know how to hire a salesperson because they don't know sales. So there's another problem that they have. People don't understand that. Do you have a sales process? Where you get the money is a sales process. It's the mindset. I don't assume anything. A good salesman never worries about anything. I don't care. I don't care about my product. I don't care if you're qualified. I don't care how much money you have. I don't worry about anything. You have reached out in a certain way. You have penetrated my company in some type of way where you filled out an email form, you contact website, you've called me, you've found me through a referral, something like that. Now that you have done that, now you are going through my sales process where I'm going to ask you a number of questions on a regular basis. And I'm going to start the process of finding out about who you are and understanding that when I have that conversation, I have to be mentally prepared for the no's and be prepared to disqualify you, knowing the fact that I might not be able to help. And if you deal with that, that's it. That's why when you have people that's called cold callers, they're calling people that are not qualified on a regular basis. It's a numbers game. Numbers games in sales is normally 3 to 100. Realization for your people that's listening is 3 to 100. On a regular basis, when I was in sales call, and it's the same thing no matter what product it is. Yellow pages, Instagram, it does not matter. And sometimes it gets way worse than that. I know every day that I'm going to go through 100 calls. And out of that, I'm going to get 3 sales. It's work. So you have to be skilled in sales to understand that I'm going to go through 97 no's, but my product is $2,000. If I'm willing to make 100 calls, I'm going to get 3 yeses. And out of that, I'm going to make $6,000 a day, which most people will never hope to do. But most people cannot get to 30 calls. The point of it is you have to have somebody who's willing to take the no's on their situation to get to the yeses. And most people don't understand what that means because they work regular lives and they get paid just to show up and do hourly. In sales, you don't have the ability to do that.
It's simple in terms of you're having a conversation, but it's not easy because you have to be willing to go for those 100 calls, 100 reach outs, and effect knowing that 97 of them will amount to nothing. Well, not amount to nothing, but amount to you developing your skill as a salesperson, as a conversationalist. What would you say is the most important thing for you to kind of keep top of mind as you're starting to have those sales conversations?
When you're a good salesperson, you're doing 3 things at the same time. Number one, you have to know where you're going, which is your sales process, your steps. Number two is that you have to be confident and understanding you might get to know. And then number three is that you have to listen. So when you're selling, you're up here looking down at yourself and looking at the other person, judging what you're doing. You're not just doing it. You're looking down like, am I asking the right questions in the same mind? So as you're doing it, it's slow motion, slow down. So sales is a language of understanding. It's different. As I'm talking to you, like I'm talking to you, I'm understanding what questions I'm asking. I'm looking at your response. I'm looking at your body language. I'm looking at what I'm doing. I'm looking at the whole deal as I'm doing it. That's the great salesperson. You don't even have a clue what's going on because you're just one direction, especially if you're engaged. And I find out that you want or need what I'm offering. So I'm asking you questions to find out because when I get toward the end, you need, use, and can afford it. There's no reason you shouldn't buy it. So when you give me some bull crap, I got to think about it. I'm like, oh, we're not even going to go down that road because that's a knee jerk reaction, which most people would give. I'm not just going to give you the money. It's a knee jerk reaction. And I have to come back to that because I know that I can help you. That's why AI, all this stuff that people talk about, this and that, AI will never replace the human instinct. I know that in respect, if I can help you intently, and there's different ways I can do it with comedy and things of that nature to help you, because when I get my product and I help you, the main thing is to get a referral so I can help the other person. And that's a great salesperson. It's not selling your product, but helping you and helping your friends.
Benjamin, I'm going to take you back a little bit because you said you want to make sure that the person is following your steps. And then to someone who's listening who doesn't have a sales process yet, they're like,
Yeah.
what steps? What are you talking about? So maybe you can take us there a little bit.
In the 20 years that I did in sales, I put together 10 steps. Now, a sales process has all 10 steps, but every product doesn't need all 10. So I always use gym sales. Gym only needs 5. So if I'm selling you a gym membership, you come into my gym, I know I need, do you need it? Use, can you use it? Affordability, can you afford it? Spouse, does your spouse know you're here? And guest pass, the reason that you came down. So those are my 5 steps that I'm using in sales. There's 10 steps in the sales process. So long as I understand the 10 steps, I can formulate it to my product. So when I work with people, I teach all 10 steps and then we customize it because it's simple, but it's not easy. Once you understand that, you're like, oh, so once you get to step number 5, you're like, okay, I know where I'm at. Like I know where I'm at. You're in a phone conversation. You're very comfortable talking to them. You're not scared. You're not skittish. You're not afraid asking for money. You're not doing any of that because the process is going to set you free because I'm selling the process. I'm not selling my product. I put the product in the process. So I can have you, Priscilla, selling refrigerators on Friday. And then on Monday, I can come to you and say, guess what we're selling today? Lear jets. And you be like, okay, no biggie. Like, we're doing the same process? Like, yeah, okay, all right. Here's the guy. Here's the product. Here's the price. Like, close. Here's the whole deal. So when you have a process, it doesn't matter about the product. You can sell Learjet, $2.3 million, which I did. It was a gag a guy told me years ago. It's like, you're such a good guy. You think you can sell anything. I'm like, if you're good, you can sell a jet. I said, what? And he said, I'll pay you commission. And I was like, all right, I'm down for this. And so all I had to do was figure out the hot points of the jet, what the jet does, just like any product, all these type of different little things that people are looking for and the reason to buy. Same thing in the jet, the engine, how much it flies, how much fuel it uses, what's the retail value of it. So you can put all that in one sheet. It's called a one sheet. You sell anything from one sheet, right? A cell phone, a car, one sheet. It does this. That's all you need to know. And if you understand that, you understand what people are looking for in that one sheet, and then you break it down. And so, long story short, I sold the jet, made 40 grand in one day, and never sold another jet, but it was a bet. I wasn't scared. It was confidence. 80% of sales is confidence. So when I work with people, the first thing I teach is mindset. That's why most entrepreneurs don't make it, is because they don't have the mindset. They don't understand rejection. You're trying to sell a product. You're in sales. You're not an entrepreneur. You're in sales. You don't have a lot of money. You're running out of time. You have an idea based upon what somebody else has done, nails, hair, whatever you're doing, somebody else has already done. You're trying to piggyback on somebody else. You don't have a mentor, don't know sales. You're running out of time and you're running out of money. And it's only a matter of time. Most businesses don't make it past 5 years. That's why people say, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, really? I have a limo business I ran for 14 years, past the 5 year point. And I have another business for over 6 years. Right? So when they talk about entrepreneurship and all this stuff and they get in, I'm like, how long you been in the game? 2-3 years. I'm like, you have no concept of what it really is to be an entrepreneur, like how tough it is. And if you don't know how to sell it, like Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, said, first thing you need to know, be entrepreneurs, learn how to sell. Not how good the product is, not how excited you are, and all the websites you got and the social media you got. Can you sell it? Can you sell? So I'll give you this. I'll make it simple. One of the top 4 people I love in sales is a homeless person. I love them. They're on a corner. They have a good mindset. Do you know how much a homeless person can make on a street corner? Just out there with a sign. Do you know how much they can make per day?
No.
$300, $700 with a good mindset. Now, not all of them. I'm saying there's people out there with mental illness, really bad. But I mean, we're normal people. We're only a couple of paychecks away from being the same people, realistically. Like it can happen to any one of us. We could be homeless at any time, right? It can happen. The main thing of it is when they sell you, when they ask you for the money, what do you get in return?
You feel good that you help.
No, what do you get in your hand? What do you get from a business standpoint? What product do you get? Nothing. Nothing. So a homeless person is selling nothing, right? You get nothing, right? A good feeling. You can't pay rent with a feeling. So you get nothing in return. They're making 300, 700. That's why you don't see them out there every day. And the reason that they're good at sales is because they're focused on what they want. They don't care what they look like. They don't care what their family say. They don't have a website. They don't have Instagram. They might have a cell phone. They don't have a business. They don't have a fax machine. They don't have a bank account. They don't have any of these other distractions in their life. They're just focused on asking. And they ask over and over and know they're going to get rejected over and over and over and over. And they play the numbers game. Now you're stressed going to work, trying to figure out how to pay your coffee bill, how to pay your electric and all this other stuff, trying to sell your little product, maybe making $200 a day, $300 a day, right? $9,000 a month, trying to do that. They're making that. And the difference between them and you, they're in sales just like you, is that they're focused on the sale. They're not worried about anything else. They're not worried about their family, what they look like, what they smell like, what they think about, nothing. If you're able to focus like that in your business, you can make a tremendous amount of money just with that mindset. So when I say I work with the mindset, if you could be that person and you have a good product, there's nothing you can't do. But most people don't understand that. They focus on marketing, what I do, and I want to go to Expo and show my stuff on Instagram and all this kind of other, like whatever, man. Like clothes, sell your product. Make sense?
That's a perfect example. That's you see a lot of the objections that people have to selling well, what are the people gonna think? I don't want to bother nobody.
A homeless person is selling what, Priscilla?
Just selling you to feel good, I guess. Not even that. They want what they want. They want what they want and they're gonna get it. And if it's not from you, it's from the next person behind you. How do you handle objections? That's the next thing. We know it's a numbers game. You probably only gonna get 3 from 100. But okay,
right.
To get to those 3,
right.
How do we handle objections?
So the concept of the mindset is that most people don't even get to the 100. So for example, I had a team. I said, I don't want you to get the yeses. I want 100 no's. But you have to do the sales process perfectly. You have to know the process. So most people don't have a process. So how are they supposed to deal with objections if they don't have a process? They have no weapons. It's like you going on a football field not knowing any plays. You're gonna get your butt kicked, no matter if you have a good product or not. And so most people don't have the mindset. Remember, 80% of sales is what? Confidence.
Mm.
It might not be for you, but I'm selling something that's going to help everybody in the world. So I have to move like that. My mindset is objections are going to happen. My sales process is front loaded where you don't deal with objections because you want referrals. It's smooth all the way through. So I ask you in the end, does it sound like a winner? Does it sound like the way you want to go? I want to think about it. We go through that. Priscilla, it sounds like this is not exactly for you, even though you told me some things and it's not what I think it is for you. But let me ask you, what are 3 to 5 people that I know that I can contact tomorrow and probably help, even though I can't help you? Right?
Mm.
Always selling. I've went through and sold 3 people from somebody I did not sell, that I didn't have to market to. I didn't have to know friends on Facebook, Instagram, and I sold them from somebody that didn't buy from. So you're always selling. So people don't understand the sales of a mindset. That homeless person doesn't have a product. Does he not care? You could tell a person, you're gonna go out there and ask for money and not give anything in return? Like, yeah. Like, are you crazy? You're gonna get rejected. Yeah. No, you can't do that. You don't have a problem. You look how you dressed. Your hair's not good. You don't have a voice. You got a cardboard box cut out with something on it that says, that's not going to work. These guys are kicking your butt on a regular basis. It's because of the fact.
I love it. We can end there. I'm so glad that this was episode number 1 of us coming back. It's a great lesson.
Sales is simple, but it's not easy. So you have to change that mindset to the homeless person mindset. And if you have that, you'll do very well. But if you don't, you'll get caught up in all of the stuff and then it won't work. And then your confidence will go down and you'll start looking for ways out and blaming this and blaming that and blaming the marketing and blaming, should I do this? And then you'll do something else. And eventually you go back to work for somebody and go back into the real world and just sit in there and wait for your 401k to give you what you want.
Well, Benjamin, I saw you have a book that goes into the 10 steps in the processes. So show that to us again so I can just read the title for those listening. Master the Art of Closing the Sale, the game-changing 10-step sales process for getting more clients and referrals by Benjamin Brown. Available everywhere books are sold. Amazon.
Yes. So the referral part is the key. So I want to get referrals. If I can sell you, I can't sell you. The insurance industry is built upon that concept. They always ask you for somebody else. Your agent always asks you, if you know them personally, that they make money without advertising. You're the demographic. Just because you said no, there's only somebody in your demographic that I can sell. And by my sales process being smooth enough where I'm not alienating you or offending you, in the end, when I ask you and you say no and we just can't come to terms on anything, then I should be able to ask you, hey, didn't work out, but besides the fact of that, there's another sale being asked. Who's your friends and family that I can, and by doing that, I will make my business become very profitable. That's step number 10, and most people don't have a process. So I have to start from step number 1 through 10. It's a skill. If I had to teach you how to weld, if I taught you now, Priscilla, well, you're going to be a master welder and weld anything, trucks, like steel, in your mind, how long would that actually take?
A while. A long while.
A plumber, master plumber, right? Electrician. But those skills could be learned in a year's time frame. Sales can be learned quicker, and it's a skill, something I can use over and over and over. I can go to any company. I can do anything with any product. Doesn't matter. It's a skill. So people don't know that sales is still a skill. They'll spend money on marketing all day, thousands and tens of thousands of dollars on that, but won't acquire the ability for them to convert the potential clients coming into their business.
The process is the same. It doesn't matter if it's digital or it's physical, or are we adjusting the process in some way for the digital?
So I challenge you in saying the point of it is, what is digital? Online sales, what does that mean?
It means getting people to move. Like you said,
Right.
sales is
Right.
getting people to move. It's
Mhm.
getting people to move wherever they are, whether on Instagram or whatever platform, to do what you want them to do that leads them to the next move action.
Which is a sales funnel.
Mm.
right? So you can do that without any interaction from a human if you like, and that's fine. And most people would love that. That's called low hanging fruit. That's building a system or paying for a system to do that. Because most people don't know how to do that. So you hire somebody to come in with the email campaign or the stuff. You have a product. I want somebody to buy it. And I have to put them in a system to hit them 30 times, see it over and over and over again to get it know, like, and trust it, or know, like, and trust me to buy it, rather than actually talking directly to me and then me converting them. So digital is that aspect of the lazy aspect, which I have no problem with it. People made billions of dollars off of it, but sales never have gone anywhere. Which would you rather have? I'm not going to ask that because most people are lazy. We're humans, is normally lazy. I would love for my bank account just to ring without me picking up the phone. But if you have a business where you have to pick up the phone or people are contacting you, my limo business, I make more money on just chat than I do on email because they get somebody in real life and then I convert them in the system in my chat, but I still put them in the system. So everything is a system towards that. It is. People just don't buy just because they think you look good. It's not the club.
That's a good one. Yeah.
You have to provide value and you have to show that value and then put them in that type of deal. And so if you're able to do that, I predict that the skill of being able to do it verbally will never go away, but will become more popular because people are going to get burned out on these automated systems. How many times do you know that if you call a company and somebody, a human answers, that now you get excited?
Now you feel you can get your problem resolved.
You can get your problem resolved, right?
Something's going to happen. Yeah.
So imagine you had a product like that and you did it where you answered the phone and you had a sales process you could verbally do in your head like it was before computers came about. When I started in sales, I didn't have any of this. I had a black phone, a notebook, and a fax machine that everybody used in the room. That was it. And we did 160 calls a day. And everything I did was me painting the picture in your head visually with my voice. And then when we got computers, we were pissed off because it slowed the process down. I don't want to email you. I want to talk to you. Now everybody doesn't know how to talk. So imagine if you were taught the ability to actually do the old school way, how much advantage you would have in doing what you do. Nobody knows how to talk anymore. And so sales is a language. And if you know that language, you could do very well.
Thank you so much for that, Benjamin. Like you said, if everyone is going this way, go the other way. If everyone's running away from talking, you need to learn to talk the sales language. So thanks so much, Benjamin. It's been a great conversation. Thank you for schooling me. I loved it.
Thank you.
So, our audience, please go to meetwithbenjamin.com. Get someone to mentor you on your sales. Do not struggle. Do not avoid doing what you need to do. Let's get these businesses cranking in those sales. Thanks so much, Benjamin.
Thank you so much. Take care of your family and everybody take care of theirs. And if you like it or love it, sell it.
Wise words. Thank you.